a goblin which will kill you very easily inside of 3 attacks. Nothing, just the attack. They still give you the exact same amount of experience points. I think they even give you the exact same drops too, which makes absolutely no sense. If you get a bad string of criticals on you, since these creatures, I think they attack 3 times in a row, it can easily mean the end of your character. So if you feel uncertain, bring a friend along with you. Also, before I finish off this last goblin here, I'm going to head up next to the doorway and address an issue which has been a death of mine for many more times than I care to relate. Okay, see how the door here starts silhouetting the more that you get close to it? Well, what happens if you are zoomed in and you have the mouse like right there? You can't do anything. You can't click, you can't move, and since the mouse is the only thing that lets you move, you're pretty much screwed over. Now, how do you be able to rotate the camera? Well, you can either hold in the middle mouse button and rotate it that way, or if you can't manage to do that for whatever reason, you can also just bring the mouse to the end of the screen. If this was full screened, you would be able to rotate it that way. But yeah, just hold the camera, rotate it, and you should be able to get the camera to another angle without getting yourself killed. Just be careful that you don't get your camera caught in the geography of the game like that. It can only happen too whenever you're looking through these doors. So as long as you keep the camera angle away from that sort of a view of the doors, you'll be alright. Another thing that's kind of annoying too, brown town rats in here. The only place that you can turn in brown town rat foamers is down inside of the city of Dunbarton, which is miles and miles away from here. It's about a good full day's journey to the south. Or at least a half a day's. So what's usually best for you to do is to take all the brown town rat formers that you get, drop them off in the bank, and then whenever you're down to the Dunbarton, have them transfer to you for a paltry sum. Right. So here we are going through Ciar Beginner. Nothing much that's too exciting, but it's a very good way to be able to train yourself up if you need to. And if you will need to. Since I went for cooking myself and rather unfortunately a broad variety of skills, I wound up having to do this more often than other people because, well, I just didn't have enough AP to spend such complex. It meant whenever I went out to fight a brown bear or a giant bear or whatever, a grizzly or something like that, I would get mangled pretty easily because my HP wasn't as high back then as it should have been. Now I'm just showing off though. I mean, I'm not even going out and pausing that I have. Nothing too special about this place. Brown town rats are easily dispatched. They give you cheese. Sometimes they'll give you a huge wheel of cheese. If you're of the cooking mindset, make certain that you keep the cheese wheels because they are normally expensive, and it will give you access to being able to cook grottons, cheese grottons to be precise. Very fattening, but very, very delicious. Oops. Had a little bit of lag, but fortunately I caught that goblin on the backstreet. And things down here are pretty easy to get lucky finishes on. And huge lucky finishes down here will range from anywhere from about 3,200 for the small rats to about, I'd say, 8,000 to 11,000 for the goblins. So it's something to look forward to. And archers always signify that you are at the very end of the dungeon. Always drop the boss key down here. Make sure you have magic or some other ranged method to knock them out of their ranged archery ways. Bring a bow, bring magic, bring whatever you can. If you can't bring any sort of a ranged method down there, they don't know Magnum Shot, so you can always just simply activate defense and walk slowly toward them. And that will work pretty well too, but you'll chance receiving some pretty bad wounds still. They're Goblin Bowmen, there's nothing you can do about that. You're going to receive wounds if as long as they get an attack off. I think I still have the key. Yeah. Got the key, so it looks like we've got a pretty straight shot right to the very end. Excuse me, viewers. Open the door using dungeon room key. Oh, camera angles. You wacky invention, you. And yeah, just like in the intro shows, whenever you go up to fight him, he's collapsed. But he won't stay that way for long if you stay around him instead of a combat stance. Anyways, the best thing you can do is get off a first string of combos on him, or charge up to 5 of your magics, or just do whatever you can to get a good first shot off on him. And from there on out, the best thing that you can do is probably to either defend or counter whenever you're at a far enough of a way distance. I'm going to refrain from using magic in this instance. The only reason why I'm going to do that is because I want to show that he can be defeated without using the counter fireball method, which is surprisingly effective against this boss because he doesn't windmill. Later incarnations of him windmill, and they windmill often. Anyways, small golem. That's pretty easy right now. Nope. What am I doing? No. Yeah, don't do that. Whenever you see him standing still, don't do that. That was a pretty bad thing. Whenever you get him down to half health, he turns into a very bigger version of himself. Defense is probably one of the better methods to do here, but you have to have enough defense in order to be able to properly resist it. About a good 5 shots to do it. And he goes down pretty easily. If you're using a weapon that does less damage, know how to use it, so that way you can get enough damage that will equal this weapon that I'm using right here. Seriously, it only just takes a couple more hits, really, if you use a 3-shot weapon or a short sword. Very simple. If you must use defense against him, make absolutely certain that you have a shield equipped if you're going in with a low armor class or what have you, because he does some pretty significant damage, and you need that protection. Without protection, he'll blow right through your defense and knock you flat on your rear. And apparently, Lily Desu is calling me. I have to put that on hold. Oh, Skype, you silly thing, you. Right. Anyways, that's how you go out and you go through Ciar Beginner Dungeon. Make certain that you at least have some defense gear. I would say the 4 armor, or the 4 defense rate, 1 protection armor should keep you going pretty well. You just want to be able to cut down his critical attacks on you if you're going to defend. If you aren't going to defend, just, make certain that you combine Firebolt with counter if you can, because it's a very effective method as well. If not, just whatever you do, make certain he doesn't clock you and send you flying normally. It's pretty simple once you get used to it. You see him moving slowly towards you, smash him. You see him moving fast towards you with no symbol over his head, defend or counter. You see him moving towards you with a symbol over his head, either counter or regular attack. Pretty open and shut, nothing but quality cut. And that's that. I'll try to put a few more videos up. If you're having trouble with the beginner dungeon like that, all I can say is whenever you die against the golem, that's okay. Die. I mean, there's no shame in dying and going back to town. But whatever you do, die and go back to the dungeon entrance or back to town, because going through the dungeon again will give you a lot more experience and a lot more gold pieces. This is a pretty good dungeon to be able to go through. Once you get going on with a string of mimics, that will pretty much solidify you financially. This is how I paid for this black armor that you see me wearing here. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll come back when I have a bit more of an impressive video. I have a strange feeling that doing what I'm doing right here isn't really helping the viewers out too much. But if you see him, like I said, see him moving slow, smash him. You see him moving towards you fast with no symbol over his head, make certain you have defense or counterattack at the ready beforehand. If you see him coming at you with a symbol overhead, make sure you have counterattack ready beforehand or cancel out defense and hit him before he hits you. He sometimes does a stomp attack, but at the Ciar Beginner level, it's very, very minor. It'll be enough to be able to kill you if you're already taking huge amounts of damage from his main attack. But once you defeat that main single swipe that he does at your character, you've pretty much got the fight in the bag. So, thank you all for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time. I think I'll be doing a video recording of Rabby Dungeon Normal next. So, stay tuned.